Good morning, and glad to be with you on the program Perspectives this morning. Perspectives this morning is still on the state of the nation. But something is coming out of it in the state of the nation. We're talking about a development that for some people may just be scary, and for some, well, maybe expected. But this is what is coming out of the state. And that's talking about Nigeria heading towards a one-party system, if you know what I mean. One party system where, the ruling party, everyone seems to, be heading to, the ruling party. And people are, politicians and everyone were just jumping ship to be with the bandwagon. And so what does this tell? What are the implications of having a one party state or one party system? Again, concerns here and there. Nigeria today is going through very harrowing times, as some people would describe it. The future for some people for Nigeria could be seen as bleak. But again, we all have a duty to see how to salvage this situation that we're in. Killings all over the place. It goes from the northeast, southwest, everywhere. The story is just not good for us. And again, coming from statistics that some commentators are coming up with, how long can Nigeria hold with this kind of situation? And what's the role of government in all of this too? And when I say government, I'm talking about leadership. How far can we, hold on to this terrible situation that we're in today? My guest this morning on the program is Lawrence Obewe. Lawrence Obewe is the convener Reset Nigeria. He's a public affairs analyst and a commentator on national and international matters. Lawrence Obewe, good morning. Glad to have you with us today.
Good morning, Tony. Good morning, listeners.
Still with the state of the nation, but attention here would be Nigeria going to a one-party system. Concerns here. Your thoughts here?
Okay, good morning, listeners. I'm glad to be here. I think we've been here before, until 2012 probably. Nigeria was just PDP. You could see all the different actors and political parties that started in 1999 all heading towards the PDP. The opposition almost was asleep until 2012. I think the fallout of disagreement following President Yar'Adua's death, different camps began to emerge, and I think the fuel subsidy removal galvanized the opposition to seize the opportunity, and that grew to what it became, what we saw in 2015. And I think that what has played out from 2015 till now can be likened to what played out between 1999 to 2012. Except something else happens. I've been really disappointed with the opposition political parties, because you expect that with everything happening, imagine it was the RFIs, the Buharis, the Tinubus that were in the opposition in this type of arena and environment. I don't think that the ruling party would have gone to sleep easily. But the reverse is the case. We are almost not seeing anything. We don't see anything of PDP. When statements are released, they are shoddy jobs. They are not actually speaking to anything in particular, nothing very intelligent coming out. And you now see different actors from political parties now, from the PDP now moving to the APC, giving the impression that Nigeria is now leading into a one-party state. I think there is a dangerous dimension, because with everything that is happening in Nigeria today, one thing you want to have is a viral opposition that can stand up to the government. But somehow I think that maybe the government of the APC have knocked everybody back. We have seen what has happened with the labor union. They've not been able to muzzle themselves together to even stage one protest or strike action against the government, except for the recent one against the Kaduna State government, which you don't really judge the strength of the labor by. We've seen what has happened with everything, the government has consistently increased prices of fuel with flimsy excuses. Nobody is holding it to account. We have seen the insecurity. Don't forget that this fuel subsidy was removed in 2012. It galvanized the opposition. The Chibok girl kidnapping took the opposition to a different level, challenging the ruling government then. Then the general insecurity in the country. That spelled the doom for the ruling party there. But you don't see something like that from the opposition today. And it's making the ruling party get away with almost everything. So I think they just, if you look out, even just the Twitter ban of last week, should have given the opposition, because I think it's a very big bet that they could have utilized to hold this government to account. But they've not done that. And it's very disappointing.
We're in a democracy, well, so to say, and taking from where we picked this up, a good example would just be America and what is the United States of America and what is going on there. Donald Trump is off the seat, but he's still very much around with it's a Democrat regime now with Biden there, but the hangover of Donald Trump is still there. We can also go to Israel and say Prime Minister Netanyahu may not just be there again because of strong opposition. So in a democracy, and you don't have a virile, a strong opposition, what does it tell about, holding brief for the people? I want to also take you to the National Assembly too. How much has the National Assembly been responsive to the yearnings of the Nigerian people?
I think without any reservation and without any apology to anybody, I think this is the worst National Assembly we've had in so many years. I think since the start of democracy. We've had National Assemblies that we have complained about, but we also saw National Assembly that continued to change leadership in a bid to challenge the sitting government, but we've not seen it in this particular one. Don't forget that the present Senate President once made a comment that even if Buhari wants a third tenure, that he will support it. So I don't think that this National Assembly represents anybody. I don't think that the government itself sees itself as representing the people. If you look at, because a typical example is what happened last week. From statistics, the Twitter provides about 3 million jobs, direct jobs for Nigerians. Now, this is a country battling with unemployment, massive unemployment. So a ban on Twitter is like throwing 3 million people. People really don't understand. They think it's just a social media blogging site. It's a site, is a project that gives millions of Nigeria opportunity to earn living in a country that cares for nobody. And don't forget that people who make up this income earners around Twitter are almost the middle class. People who are graduates who cannot find jobs to do. So instead of government engaging Twitter in whatever they think, and I think that there are a lot of things to engage Twitter about. Let's not make any means out of it. There are a lot of derogatory things that have been posted on Twitter against the Nigerian government, and nobody did that. Likewise, government has done similar things, but I think that it was an opportunity for engagement. But what did the government do? It blanked out Twitter, sending more than 3 million people back to the street. You know the implication on security? You know the implication on unemployment? So it tells you about the government that is not thinking, that is not strategic, that is not analytical, that doesn't sit down and look at things from all shades. It tells you about a government that thinks that is a czar. It's a feudal government, an autocratic government that can do anything and get away with it. And don't forget, one of the biggest fundamental human rights of Nigerian citizens are freedom of speech. And that freedom of speech can be verbal, it can be electronic, which is what the Twitter represents. So now this is also a government that keeps telling you that they are trying to woo investors, have set up different committees on ease of doing business. What signal are they sending to the international community about Nigeria being a fertile ground where you can do businesses? So that's where we are. Because there is nobody challenging them, you are now seeing a government who believes that we are on our own and we can do anything. We have seen a lot of statements coming from the Attorney General of the Confederation that you even wonder, is this guy really a lawyer? So, but that's what we have. So, is it because President Muhammadu Buhari or the APC is too powerful? I don't think so. I think it's a combination of many factors. I think first of all is that you have people who are not Democrats. For President Muhammadu Buhari, who was just his military uniform was removed and Agbada was given to him. They sang his praise because this is somebody that consistently I don't think that Nigerians didn't know who Buhari was. But I think that when Nigeria got to that point where insecurity became a problem, they felt that okay, this is a general. He could get things under hold. That's one. Then two is the fact that the opposition party has completely gone asleep. Completely. Then the Nigerian people have tolerated this insolence for long. So because I think that by democracy, by definition, it is government of the people, by the people and for the people. So, and any democracy where the citizens are not watching, where the citizens are not ready to rise up and hold government to accountable, this is what you get.
Let's talk about the institutions. There are institutions that one would say that should be there. They are for the people. They stand for the people. But again, that's talking about if Nigeria is going, a one-party, state. I'm talking about INEC. I'm talking about the judiciary. How much of these institutions have we seen, in carrying out the democratic process?
No, I think that all of them have combined to bring us to where we are. Look at the INEC. I don't think that there is any Nigerian, even the ruling party, that has confidence in INEC. Even the ruling party, I don't think there is any of them who have confidence in INEC. They believe that INEC can be bought, that results can be written. So look at the police. If you look at what has happened from the EndSARS was an opportunity for Nigeria to sit back and say, hey, let's do something about this police. Because when you have people being hacked to death by people paid to protect them, it becomes a problem. Now, we did not seize that opportunity. Now you see the police institution, the destruction that is going on around it. Now you see everybody crying, why are policemen being killed? As bad as that sounds, did anybody ask why Nigerian citizens, youth with hair afro, were being hacked to death? It's a big question. As much as we want the institutions to remain and serve us, but they cannot alienate the same people they are paid to serve. Look at the judiciary. Now our elections are no longer government of the people, for the people and by the people. It's now government of the people, for the people, by the judiciary.
I'll need to hear more on that.
No. The judiciary made the current Minister of Transportation governor against the will of the people. He never even ran for election. His contestation ended at the primary level of his party. The judiciary made him a governor. There's a sitting governor in Imo State who is there by virtue of the Supreme Court. And you have that spread across the country.
Are you questioning, court rulings here? Is that what you're doing? That they're not serving the people here?
I think the little I did about law, they talked about repugnance and natural justice. When you look at some of these judgments, I think that well, there are certain things I don't want to say on the air, but I don't think that you look at them and you feel that okay, justice has been done, irrespective of what the judiciary is thinking. But I think that at the end of the day, I think the worst the judiciary should do in election matters is to send candidates back to their people, but not to determine the fate of millions of people who should naturally choose who leads them. So the institutions of government that are supposed to help us propel democracy are the apertures of this democracy. They are the ones why we are here. Nobody has served. We have seen INEC. Today, people don't believe in INEC. You see destructions going on. Then you see rhetorics of leaders who are supposed to be uniting forces. See them, politicians, saying things that divide us further. And at the end of, and I continue to tell people, there are only two tribes, two ethnicity, two religion in Nigeria: the politicians and the masses. Nothing else. When they want to steal, they unite. When they want to oppress, they unite. When they want to do anything, they unite. But once it comes to the benefit of the people. They bring religion, they bring ethnicity, they bring regions to divide you. So except and that's why I said any democracy that is not checked by citizens will be where we are. We are not here by surprise. We have worked so hard to get to this point where we are.
And again, worried about having a one-party state, jumping ship as we see now. That's the order of the day, that everybody seems to be moving to the ruling party because that's the party of the day. And again, going back to what a national chairman of the APC had said, that come to our party and have your sins forgiven. So where how can Nigerians be represented? I'm just worried, if we have a one-party state. And again, looking at opposition, we've said that maybe we do not have a strong opposition, but
we don't have at all. Not a strong one. We don't have at all. There's a difference between having and not having at all.
But how do you challenge the ruling party? I mean, if you're not, if you're not agreeing or saying that what they're doing is right, where do we go? We just talked about the institutions that we have, that these institutions may not be serving us too, and that's talking about the judiciary here.
No, but the biggest story is the fact that we still had these institutions when the present ruling party were in opposition, and the challenge and got the present opposition out of power. So whatever they
so do, what has happened to that now?
That's the issue. The issue, first of all, is the fact that the APC and the Buhari administration have done a couple of things to use to knock senses into people. First of all, they've impoverished Nigerians. So even the politicians are seeing poverty as reality. So I'm telling you, I don't know how else. I don't think I need to explain it on radio. I think every Nigerian, even the members of the APC, knows that this party has impoverished Nigerians. The statistics are there. How much is it, a naira to $1? How much is a bag of rice? How much is tomato? How much is onion? How much is beans? I don't think, and I'm talking about basic foodstuffs, because the basic necessity of life is to eat and drink water. How much do you get water now? Even a bag of sachet water. So I don't think I need to stay on radio to begin to say how. I think the how is in everybody's mind. So now the fear of poverty, that the impoverished Nigerian the people, they use the EFCC to hound others. So everybody is feeling that I better join there. And you have a party who has made everybody who crossed over cent against their major policy of anti-corruption. So how do you expect people to still remain on this path?
Where are we heading to? I mean, if we have all of this playing out.
I cannot say that for sure, but I know that Nigeria has always surmounted every challenges that come to it. And I'm sure we'll surmount this. What Nigerians need to do? Hold on. I see light. I don't know whether it's 2023. I don't know whether it's 2022. I don't know whether it's in 2021. I don't know whether it's in 2028. But I think a combination of what is happening today will liberate Nigeria. That's what I believe. I don't believe in tearing Nigeria apart. I don't think that that's the solution. If you go into the different ethnic enclaves, I don't think there is unity. There is nothing showing that they are remaining single as they want to be will bring peace to them. But I think that everything, a combination of what is happening, can bring everybody to the table to begin to say that those truths that are hurting that we are not saying. We have built infrastructure. We are still where we are or going down.
No, in an atmosphere of suspicion, in an atmosphere of attention to one another and wanting for one side to be above all, and all of that, how do we find this trust that should hold us together?
I think that we have the truth, we have the trust, the trust. I think what is lacking is the patriotism. But I think that it will get to a point where men of goodwill, men of character will stand up and say no, it's enough.
And we have them all over it.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. I know that it might get worse. Don't get me wrong. But I think that at the end of the day, there will be light. I don't think that there's any great nation that has not passed through this. And I think that we are passing here to get to where we need to be. Nigeria has been stagnant and backward. That's true. No apology to anybody. Look at what was happening in Kaduna. People, the same rights you exercised from 2012 to 2015, others are exercising, you are sacking people. Come on.
If it's all to move, matters of governance, to move forward.
Yeah. So I don't know how, but I think that there will be light. I know that everything that is happening today will lead to light. Because I think that we've been in the shades, we've been in the shadow for a long time. And I don't think that the nation of today is what we want to bequeath to our children. So I think that we are coming together around that place where gold come and is heat up. Then the finest of gold emerge. That's where I think we are. And I know the finest of Nigeria will emerge soon. I don't know how.
On that optimistic note, yes, the program is Perspectives, and we're sharing thoughts about the state of the nation and looking at Nigeria, that it may be going a one-party state. Your concerns here, but my guest this morning, Lawrence Obewe, convener of Reset Nigeria, public affairs analyst and commentator on national and international matters, with his thoughts on where we are with Nigeria today. We'll come back after this break. Welcome back. Is the program Perspectives this morning, and still under the state of the nation. Our concern will just be on is Nigeria going the one-party way, and concerns that opposition has not, been strong enough to, talk on the matters, coming out of the Nigerian state. And this, again, is said, to be worrisome. Now, my guest, Lawrence Obewe, convener, Reset Nigeria. Lawrence, again, in opposition, what went wrong with opposition? Because, again, you still want to talk about, some credible people or some Nigerians who have the voice to make themselves heard in the opposition, but they're not just being heard. But we hear opposition saying this is wrong, this is not the right way, but just that, and it fizzles out. Now, why is the strength taken out of opposition?
First of all, I think that the defeat came to them as a shock. I think. I am not.
When I talk about, the voices coming from opposition, I like to look at former President Goodluck Jonathan and a host of them who are still there, and people that can lend voice to the Nigerian situation, and yet we're not hearing them or getting anything strong from them.
No, there are a couple of things. This was the same opposition that was demonized while they were in power. So, for instance, let me use their word now, clueless Jonathanians. So, what do you want to listen to him about? And if it were you, will you offer any advice?
And see the nation going this way?
That's two. Number 3 is, which political party is in today? Nobody's sure. We see him, APC touting him, we see PDP dragging him. So nobody is sure where he is. I think the defeat of 2015 came to them as a shock. So it kept them in disarray. People like Saraki, we know, very strong voice. But somehow the government has so much intimidated him that he takes his time on what to say. And there are a couple of people like that, Lisa Metu. The spokesperson of the PDP as we are today, I don't see. See, let's compare two democracies. Look at America. Look at Nigeria. If you look at the opposition, even with the defeat of Donald Trump and the Republicans, both in the Senate and the House, you see viral opposition. Opposition that is research-minded, that offers viable alternative. So, but you are not seeing that in the PDP. Because you cannot, if you go to criticize someone and you don't have facts, you will only be sounding like an empty drum. And I think that's what the PDP is doing, but at the national level and even in Kaduna State. I think they need to offer alternatives. Right now, no one is doing that. People have seen them. People have reservations in some of the things they did. Have they given any indication that power returning to them tomorrow, that they will do things differently? I don't think so. So because of that, I'm not sure people trust them. I have my reservations about the PDP. But I have more reservations about them not even doing enough to convince Nigerians that they are still there. If you talk about the voices, the few voices we hear, they are lone voices. Somebody like Femi Fani-Kayode is standing alone. Somebody like Ayofa Aisha is standing alone. Olusola Saraki, Bukola Saraki standing alone. Most times they don't speak as members of PDP. Dino Melaya, they speak as strong critic of the government. So I don't think that PDP as a party is united in acting as virile opposition to the government. I don't see that. I don't see that. That could change tomorrow. Don't also forget that there was no APC in 2012. People were standing up to the government as individual, as some of these people are doing today. Then towards the end of 2013, there were strong talks about an emerging political party, and in 2014 APC emerged. 2015 defeated a sitting government. So I am thinking that maybe we'll see similar thing. Maybe by the end of this year we'll begin to think about new political parties, because the way even the APC is, take the Twitter stuff as an instance. The governor of Kaduna is still tweeting as against the directive of the federal government. So for me, that's a strong opposition to Muhammadu Buhari and his party. Akeredolu Delu is still tweeting. There are still some governors of the APC tweeting, even though the federal government says you shouldn't or will prosecute you. But they are not stopping. So it's telling you that even within the APC, you might have people who are tired and fed up even with their political party. And that's why I said, in the midst of this heat, I see a new Nigeria emerging. So there will be another convergence of like minds. That's what I think. To get a viral political party that can challenge.
Could this be taking us to be, leading to the part of a pariah nation? The Twitter thing, the suspension of the Twitter, because again, I'm bringing in the international community in all of these.
I think they have made their concerns clear. I don't think they minced word about it. For U.S. government to release a statement condemning it, then you know that that's strong enough. I don't know how the government is saying it. Sometimes U.S. government will be on the fence, not to offend anybody, or they would tilt their statement where you cannot understand exactly where they stand. But they were clear with this. Most European Union have released statements. And when people begin to compare Nigeria with Uganda, with North Korea, with China, you begin to laugh. Why are they not comparing Nigeria with China in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of human capital development, in terms of increasing the GDP, in terms of making their city, their country, cities? Why is it the bad that we always take and compare when we compare Nigeria? Is Uganda Nigeria's mate? North Korea is impossible. There is no sane person who wants to go to North Korea. So why are this the comparison that they make about Nigeria? This is the biggest black nation in the world. This is the giant of Africa. This is the same country that people looked up to emerge as one of the biggest economies of the world. Why are we now being compared to Uganda? I think we are derailing. I think even mentally and psychologically, our people are beaten that we are now taking the worst as our competition. We should look up to the best if you want to be the best. I don't think you want to run as fast as Usain Bolt and you are looking at Lawrence, competing with Lawrence. I think you need to go and compete with the likes of Usain Bolt if you want to beat him in a race. Why are we looking backward instead of front? I think we have lost it. We need to redirect. And my advice is to this government is to, as a matter of urgency, lift that Twitter ban. It's embarrassing. It shouldn't be head of Nigeria, a country like Nigeria. It looks as if everybody in that administration doesn't even have the common sense. Because if you're looking at people blogging, are you looking at people's means of livelihood? Are you looking at the security situation bedeviling the nation? Are you looking at the negative impact on your ease of doing business indices? It's embarrassing, my brother. It's embarrassing.
Perspectives this morning. We'll come to the public domain and get your thoughts too about where we are with the Nigerian state. Our concern about the state of the nation is that is Nigeria going the one-party, way? And again, if we are doing that, the implications of all of that and your worries and concerns on having us go that way. For a democracy, it's said that we should have a strong opposition to in a democracy. But again, where we're going today, we're also concerned. On the numbers 081 40,000 989 or 070-87-800-989, 081 40,000 989 or 070-87-800-989. Call us on these numbers. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Yes, I haven't. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Awusko from Nasarawa.
All right, Awusko, let's hear you.
You see, when democracy was ushered, before democracy was ushered in, the civil society was very strong, and they were the one that propelled democracy into existence. Where is the civil society today? Why has everybody gone down? Democracy that was laid on the blood of Nigerians. Now it has been taken over by fake Democrats, and they are turning our country. Opposition, PDP has said the civil society must rise up and take the mantle and bring our nation back from the brink. I thank you so much.
All right, Amosko, we had you on that. Still with your calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Scholar.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest, brother. You're on to Engineer Emmanuel.
Engineer Emmanuel.
Sometimes I begin to wonder the way this administration, those that give them advice in what to do and what not to do, whether they are giving them the right something. Because with all due respect to the office of Mr. President, it cannot be that just because of one person, then over how many millions we go out of job. You did not get job for these different people. And this will now got a platform to help their hustle, and now you just came and just take them out of the something. It's not done elsewhere. And just like Lawrence said, people begin to compare us with some other countries. It's rather unfortunate. So I think, and I want to correct something. There are some opposition, like Abaribe. It has been the ones speaking. I don't know, those that are not talking now, is it because they have one thing or the other that is preventing them from talking? There is no democracy without opposition. So the PDP should switch up and do the right thing so that we checkmate them. Because I remember, you know what they are afraid? During good luck, there was no kind of criticism. This administration did not criticize the former administration. They did not ever harass anyone. But this one now, when you talk anything, the next thing you see DSS on your doorpost. You wanted to ask you questions. And it's not done like that. So please, we are running a democracy. They should allow democracy to strive. Than all this want and back of a thing. Do we talk about the insecurity? Do we talk about the lack of job? Which one have they done that we say yes, they have done something?
Okay, Engineer Emmanuel, got you. All right, we'll take one more and then come back to our guest. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Buba Umar.
Okay, Buba, let's hear you.
I just wanted to tell your guest that let him not to be afraid. What have occurred sometimes in 2015 is trying to replicate. Now, if you look at our politicking has no principle. That's why you see people are migrating to the ruling party. And there is no objective of migrating. They went there to break the party into pieces so that what have occurred sometimes is going to replicate. Now, the issue why PDP have muted for quite some time, the best politicians there is Atiku Abubakar. Very hardworking, because if Atiku is in PDP, opposition will remain. But now he muted for quite some time. Atiku, if he knows you, irrespective of whether you big or small, you will make sure if he's interested in you, he works towards you. And that is lacking in PDP. That's why you see it's as if we don't have opposition. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you there. So, Amusco, very strong with the civil society. Why have they gone to sleep?
Yeah, I don't think that you can fault him. The civil society has not done enough. I think majorly, you now have most civil societies being political. And the reasons are not very far. Most development international donor agencies give support for civil societies to be able to help in reforms around governance. And governments usually threaten civil societies to shut doors if they join in criticizing or holding them accountable. So you see situations where most times you now see the civil society even working for the government. In Kaduna here is very prevalent. Most civil society here are government civil societies. You have a very few strong voices, and sometimes they are drowned out because a lot of them, they answer civil society in the morning, in the night, they are handicapped with the government officials. So I don't think that he was very wrong in his postulation. I think that's the situation. It's unfortunate, but the few that still have the courage to speak truth to power will continue to do that. So as sad as that is, it might not be a generalization of the issue, because there are still some who are speaking truth to power.
Well, okay, Engineer Emmanuel, he came up with the PDP, and the voice is not strong enough, or not coming from the strong ones that we have there. Is it about skeletons in some people's cupboard, or
it could be? It could be. We saw same with Olisa Metu and some other PDP, Ayo Fayosha and all that. Then he spoke about Senator Baribe. We need to understand, I think he's the only representative of the PDP in today's Nigeria. Why? Because he's the minority leader. As a minority leader in the Senate, it is his responsibility to respond to government policies, and that I think he's doing admirably. But he's acting as a lone voice. Apart from him, I think every other person is speaking in individual capacity. I think that Senator Baribe is the only one who is speaking on behalf of the PDP, by virtue of him being the leader of the minority in the Senate.
Buba Umar was coming from the angle that what we're having now was what we had before, and talking about the people in this party could just be again ready to be in the next party again.
He made a valid point. Nigeria has no political culture. Nigeria has no political culture. There is no institutionalization, even in terms of the electoral process. We have seen there is nothing like internal democracy in any of the political parties, and it's hurting everybody. Now, liking this period to the PDP, to the APC emergence era, I think I said that from the beginning. From whatever that is doing, don't forget that even as at 2012, 2013, people were still jumping from other political parties to the PDP. I think something new might likely emerge. That's what I think. That's what I hope. Because it's not because I want the APC out of government, but I want them to stand on their toes. If they're going to be there, they should know that people are out there checking on them. Right now, it looks as if they are having a long sleep. Nobody disturbs their dream. They're just dreaming away their lives, and they don't care about the Nigerian people.
What enthusiasm would you have on just a projection on 2023 elections, that Nigerians would have a cause to say, yes, we're marching out, we're, trooping out to vote, for all they've been through.
In terms of the happenings today, you don't really see that enthusiasm. I think we have all gone to our ethnic and religious enclaves. But knowing Nigeria for what Nigeria is, so if you look at today, I'm not sure there is any lesson learned from anywhere. Even President Buhari's base is usually the north. Usually. If President Buhari contests the election today, I still believe with everything going on, he will win. Because Nigeria's election, first of all, is about what INEC decides to do or decides not to do. What the court decides to do or decides not to do. Then, and what religion are you? What ethnicity are you from? Which region are you from? That's what decides Nigerian election. However, I think that what is happening now might begin to clear the way, clear the pathway for a new Nigeria to emerge. And if a new Nigeria is going to emerge, I am very optimistic that some of the people we see today, like the Holy Book said, some of the people who saw yesterday will not see them today. So I believe that there are a lot of them today who are holding us to the jugular, who will not be there tomorrow. And that's why they need to be careful, because power is transient. Over the weekend, we lost one of the most powerful televangelists who claimed to have arose plenty people from the dead, but he died. So people must understand that whatever their position they are holding in trust, that they might not be there tomorrow. So when you are not there tomorrow, the PDP were there for 16 years. Today they are not there. So APC one day will not be there. So whatever they do today, they must understand that they will be held accountable.
Let's squeeze in one or two calls here too before we bring the program to a close. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Toyin.
Yes, good morning.
And good morning to your guest.
Thank you very much.
Yes, my name is Mr. Fresh.
Yes, Mr. Fresh.
Yeah, I so love your guest, the way he tackle and present the issue. You see, one thing I used to think about and I see, and I stand to be corrected, that three people are the problem of this country. One, INEC, judiciary, and religion. Truly speaking, we do not have humanity again, because we are either using religion, or INEC is the problem, or judiciary. So if you don't get it here, you will get it there. So that is the way me, personally as an individual, have studied the way things are going in this country. Because take for instance, if I am from this religion and I'm contesting for social position, because I am not in their own religion, even if I'm a good candidate, they will not vote for me because of my religion. And if I am from the minority side and I happen to win election, and because we are not the leading judiciary, we collect it. So you see, this is where the problem is coming from. So I think until and unless this issue is truly addressed in this country, otherwise we will continue to go this way, and which I don't pray for it. But one day, just as you said, APC will become history, and truly there will be history. This I know, because I see as this Buhari is the APC. One day it will not be there. Thank you.
Mr. Fresh, thank you. Well, Lawrence.
There's something you said that I missed out. You talked about cross-carpeting.
Yes.
If you look at, I think over the past 1 month, we've had public hearings around constitutional amendment. I don't think there was strong indication that our country was planning to do anything to stop that cross-carpeting of people from one party to another. So, but you also understand why, because they are all the beneficiaries. Even the members of the committee know that at one point or the other they might need to cross, so they don't feel obliged to be able to stop themselves from moving in future. So it tells you the selfishness of our political office holders. It's about them. It's about them. It's about them. Whatever they are doing is about them, and that's why citizens must stop killing themselves for politicians. They have no interest of the citizen at heart. They don't care. The only thing they care about is themselves. Then
we got them there.
Yeah, we got them, or the courts, or INEC got them there. there's really no validation in Nigeria that what we see as results during election actually emerged from the people. I think there are a lot of cases and points to show that sometimes you begin to question. So, first point is we must get our internal democracies and political parties right. Because if you don't do that, just like the last speaker said, they bring two people. So you choose the lesser of the two evils. So, but it must get to a point where people will even decide who emerges in the political party. Because the general election is just a validation of the activities of political parties. So where people should get interested in is how candidates emerge in political parties. That's where the real reforms should take place. If we have two excellent candidates, then we can choose one of the two excellent candidates. But if we have, I don't know what word to use that is permissible on air, but if we have two nonsense materials,
not permissible, yeah.
we choose one of it. So we must concentrate on making sure that the internal democracies in political parties are reforms. That's one. Then two is that part of that reformation must also include strategies not to disenfranchise aspiring aspirants. And one of those strategies would be not to use finance to stop them from contesting. You know what it is to get a governorship candidate form in a party like APC, for instance, over 25 million. So I know as a civil servant, if you started and had your, is it 30 or 35 years? Whichever comes first, or 60 years, and you retire as a permanent secretary, you cannot accumulate more than 37 million as savings. So if you are using 25, it means that you've not trained your children to school, you've not built a house, you have not paid rent, you have not paid transportation, you've been saving all your life, not eating, just to contest for political parties. So except we make these party forms affordable for people, the best of the best, to come and contest, who might not have the resources, we are not going to anywhere.
And that would just be the size of it on the program Perspectives this morning. And again, we're talking about the state of the nation and our concern here that we could make it better. And all the things that we have to do to make it better. All hands must be on deck to do that. My guest, Lawrence Obewe, thank you for coming on the program.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Lawrence Obewe, convener, Reset Nigeria, public affairs analyst, and a commentator on national and international matters. Looking at the Nigerian state and worried too that could Nigeria just be going the one-party, system? Concerns here, food for thought for you too out there. And all we have to say here is that we can make Nigeria work, all of us together. Job, thank you for connecting with the people. Wisdom, thank you for putting us in the pictures. Good morning.